Because of the volatility surrounding this subject, and many people's already predisposed opinions about affirmative action, we were hesitant in choosing this topic. But as we discussed, we decided it's cases like these that need to be discussed to determine if they're ethical or not. Affirmative action is an action or policy favoring those who tend to suffer from discrimination. The debate over affirmative action has swirled around a cluster of highly charged words that sometimes obscures rather than enlightens the subject.
Affirmative action was created to break down barriers to promote equal opportunity. This policy was adopted by colleges in a time when there was discrimination towards minorities. So now, as we discuss this topic, we are left wondering, is this practice outdated and unnecessary? Is it ethical to level the playing field? And what does leveling the playing field even mean? In our case, a woman named Sarah Smith is hired to be a member of the Board of Admittance at Wicks University. As there are fewer and fewer spots left, the admissions office is having trouble deciding on the last opening.
Welcome back, everyone. This is our last day, and we need to come to a final decision on who will be our last attendants.
Our first applicant is Megan Williams, and according to our mission statement, I do not think she would be a good fit for Wicks University. As you can see, she has several accusations of cheating and has multiple detentions.
Wait. What exactly is her Wicks' mission statement?
To better students by creating a rigorous academic environment with varying concepts and surrounding them with other equally ambitious students who value integrity, honesty, and involvement in the community. All favor in declining Mrs. Williams because she does not adequately fit our mission.
Aye. Next applicant is Nicole Smith. Although I don't really think that she would fit in here at Wicks University, considering her lack of extracurriculars. As you all know, our students here are very involved in the community, and although her high GPA and high test scores are rather impressive, her clear lack of extracurriculars prove that her contributions here would be limited. All in favor of declining? Aye.
Next up is a student by the name of Carl O'Connor. He's very involved in extracurricular activities. Mr. O'Connor is a very active member of the football team. It's also very nice to see that he's involved in Leo Club, Art Club, and Film Club. The only thing I see wrong with him, however, is his low grade-point average, and to be honest, his standardized test scores are not impressive at all.
Clearly, O'Connor would not succeed in a rigorous academic environment, and he should not be admitted. All in favor of declining his application?
Aye. So that leaves two students by the name of Sam Bailey and Javier Tacito. Sam is a 4-year wrestler and part of National Honor Society and Ski Club, and has consistently held high GPA with average test scores. Javier, however, has played hockey for 4 years and was a part of the cooking club and academic team and had an average GPA along with average test scores. So who should we accept?
Sam Bailey sounds like a great candidate. He definitely deserves to be admitted more than anyone.
Well, although Javier might not be the best student, I think he's a good enough student to keep up with the academics at Wicks University, and he can contribute to the diversity at our school.
I agree. The fact that Javier is Hispanic just proves that he has more to offer than our school than Sam, who is similar to almost every other student that we've already accepted here. What? Sam is clearly the better candidate. He does just as many extracurricular activities. You are picking Javier just because he is Hispanic.
Well, I agree with Gianna and Susie. I'm sure Sam Bailey's a great student, but we only have one spot. And I also think it should be given to Javier Tacito rather than Mr. Bailey, because of his racial background and diversity he provides to our school.
This is ridiculous. What is Javier contributing that Sam isn't? They come from similar financial histories and went to high schools with equivalent educations.
Opinion noted, but all in favor to decline Sam Bailey and accept Javier?
Aye.
Aye. Meeting adjourned.
Sarah comes into conflict with her ethics and morals when she disagrees with the treatment of race in the admissions process. She decides to take her concerns to the ethical board at the college so that they can make the decision.
Good morning. My name is Sarah Smith, and I'm here today because I believe there is an ethical dilemma that the student body is unaware of at the University of Texas.
We have reviewed your summary of the facts, but please describe to the best of your ability what you believe the ethical dilemma is on campus.
This is my first year working at Wicks University in the admissions office. While we were deciding on the last few admittees, the board and my colleagues came to a disagreement.
Does that happen often?
Yeah, of course it happens often, and there are usually no major problems, but this time it was different. The majority of people working in admissions decided to side with the less qualified person because they thought a minority would would bring more diversity to our schools, and it would be more beneficial to the student body. The applicants have the right to know exactly how the college is taking its students.
This is an ethical problem that needs careful consideration. Students have the right to be treated and viewed as equals, if not, equally based on their efforts. Decisions like these have the possibility to negatively impact the university's academic efforts environment because students who are less qualified may lower the standards in classes and conversations. On the other hand, they may be able to contribute to the diversity and bring something different to the table. I agree. The students admitted based off of race have the potential to negatively impact their peers and other individuals admitted. Although Javier may be able to contribute to racial diversity, Sam and Javier both come from the same schooling system, so chances are they have had equal opportunities in life. They should be treated as equals in the decision of who gets in.
Also, we are not taking into account mismatch, which is when students are paired up with the wrong university. If Javier is given an advantage because he is Hispanic, he may not be able to compete with the other students or maintain the same quality of work. This in turn will negatively impact Javier himself, not to mention take a spot from a more qualified student.
Javier Tecito and all the other students admitted have the right to be treated as ends and not merely means to appear more diverse. Not to mention, students and the public deserve to be told the truth. Our school is not admitting nor denying to using affirmative action, but in doing so, we ourselves are being dishonest.
The university's actions in admitting Javier Tecito over Sam Bailey contradicts its mission statement of providing a rigorous academic environment for all students. Thus, we deem the admissions office's decision unethical and believe Sam Bailey should be admitted.
Affirmative action is a taboo concept that is rarely discussed. It is a major ethical controversy that needs to be addressed. The cases we presented is just a simplified version of the current college process. Some of the facts behind affirmative action are as follows. Minorities who start college interested in a doctorate and an academic career are twice as likely to derail from this path if they attend a school where they are mismatched. Mismatch means that the minority student is accepted into a college with SAT scores and a GPA that is not compatible with that of the school. About half of minority college students rank in the bottom 20% of their class. Minority law school graduates are 4 times as likely to fail bar exams. All effects are of mismatch. An Asian scoring 1550 out of 1600 is given the same consideration as a Caucasian scoring 1410, and a Hispanic scoring 1230 and an African American scoring 1100. Although we acknowledge there are special circumstances in which grades and test scores should not be the only factors to be admitted into college, this process needs to be more regulated to ensure ethical conduct and reduce reverse discrimination.
Some argue that diversity is important and use the utilitarian approach, but studies have proven that interracial friendships are more likely to form among students with relatively similar levels of academic preparation. Thus, Black and Hispanic students are more socially integrated in colleges that do not use affirmative action. We believe that the public has the right to know and that the schools need to be open about affirmative action in order to be ethical. And as you can see from the headlines behind me, we are not the only ones who believe this. But in fact, affirmative action is a largely invisible issue. With striking uniformity, university leaders view discussion of mismatch and affirmative action as a problem and a threat to racial peace on campuses, and therefore a subject to be avoided. They suppress data and even ostracize faculty members who bring up the seriousness of this problem. We believe that the willful denial of mismatch and affirmative action is as big of a problem as an ethical controversy, and we hope you think so too.
I'm going to ask the same question I asked the other two. So can you walk us through a little bit of the your decision process for how you arrived at this case, and also how you arrived at the ethical dilemma, those that you chose?
So we have a course research at our school, and two of the people who are in our group chose affirmative action as one of their research projects. And we are discussing different cases that like a wide range, and we decided that affirmative action affects a lot of people and that it's easy to relate to for students and for teachers and all different types of people. And so we chose that topic, and then we started doing more research into the issue, and we found that it's still prevalent, even whether like some people believe it's not, but it's still prevalent in that they use affirmative action. And then we looked up facts, and then we came to the conclusion that it is unethical.
Do you feel the affirmative action law should be rewritten, changed, or whatever? Did you make a conclusion about that?
Well, one of the headlines that we highlighted in the previous slide was that many states are actually banning affirmative action and replacing them with their own equality laws. So we feel that states who are looking to show more of a, to represent people as a whole instead of mixing it with preferential treatment should definitely create a different system for it.
Yeah, and we by no means think that it's a simple solution. Like, we don't think you should just get rid of affirmative action, because we understand that affirmative action was put into place to help minorities from unequal treatment and unethical situations. But we feel that it's overdone now. Like it was made in the 1950s. That's when the law first came, and we feel like it should be modernized.
We at least think that schools should be open about whether they use it or not, because, like I said, many of the schools just stay quiet about the issue and they don't discuss it at all. So I think it's like the right to the public and students to at least let them know, like, we do use this. This is the process that we use, and it's being done in many schools.
The handout that you provided gives us a very clear explanation of the more full approach considerations that you took into account. What stakeholders do you believe were impacted by this?
The stakeholders were obviously the student who's getting accepted that doesn't have that GPA or test scores that the other students have. He would feel like misplaced. He would be mismatched, as we said. So he could probably have a worse college experience than other students. The students around him. In our mission statement, we included, as many universities do, that the mission statement said a rigorous academic environment. And I feel like that's very important to kids who worked really hard and enjoy or prefer being around kids who work equally as hard. And those kids deserve to be around those kids. But if kids are admitted to these colleges who didn't do that, it's unfair for those students.
Another stakeholder we can consider would happen to be the college that they're being accepted to, because this college, their reputation is basically on the line. Because when you think about it, if they really have these situations all the time where they always put someone's race ahead of their academic vigor, then it would be very detrimental to their academic records. Plus, they would be put down at like I said, they're at very lower stake of being harmed.
One more question.
Okay, just very quickly, could you tell us, were you pretty unanimous in your decision about whether this was an unethical behavior among colleges, or was this pretty easy for you to arrive at this conclusion, or did you have significant debates?
So we did have some varying opinions at first, and then we looked at some facts, and we looked at both sides of the argument because there's a lot of data regarding this topic. And we came to the conclusion that if schools feel the necessary to absolutely use affirmative action, then they should at least make it open about it and have open conversations, because although the media and schools are talking about it, it's not the colleges themselves and it's not the admissions office.
I just wanted to include that, we understand that colleges also find that diversity is important to them, so that was kind of the harder choice too, to understand if it's really that important or if grades are more important.